What's up, people, and welcome to another edition of Deconstructing Hip Hop, the show where geek meets ghetto, aka the show where we break down classic hip hop beats using modern day music production tools. Now, today's track, Talib Kweli's Get By, is probably one of my favorite Kanye West beats. Why? Well, because it incorporates a sample that, to be honest with you, I thought should have been sampled a long time before that, and that's Nina Simone's Sinner Man. Now, I'm sure that there have been other tracks that have sampled Sinner Man, but I can't think of any that used it so prominently as Kanye West did on this track. And the thing was, he didn't just sample it straight out. He actually had to play a couple of instruments on this one. And I'm going to show you in the video exactly what, or I should say what he probably ended up doing. Now, the thing about Kanye West and Nina Simone is that he uses her several times in a lot of his production. Songs that stick off the top of my head are Common's Misunderstood, even Addiction off of his own album. The thing about Nina Simone, if you don't know about her music seriously, you need to find out about Nina Simone's music. It's not only does it just beg to be sampled, but it's really soulful and it's just straight up good music. Kanye probably used an MPC 2000. A lot of the footage in studio of him at the time that I've seen has him, having an MPC 2000 XL in the background, and you can kind of hear it in his production. I mean, it has that MPC sound, and Kanye was a really big fan of using the note repeat button at the time. Now, I don't have an MPC 2000, and I ended up using Reason 6.5. And I ended up having to do a couple of things to get the track to sound, well, kind of like Get By. Anyways, let's get at this, all right? All right, first I want to talk to you about the basic elements of this track. Now, there are pretty much 5 basic elements: the bass, the drums, the clapping sound in the background, the piano, and the Nina Simone sample. Also, later on in the song, you get to hear some guitar licks played out. I didn't include them because I don't know if he actually played the guitar or had somebody play the guitar, or if he played the notes himself on a synthesizer of some sort. Either way, I just wanted to get the heart, the core of this song. Now, the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is the bass line. Now, for the bass line, I ended up using Reason Subtractor synthesizer over here. Now, one of the things that I love about Subtractor, even though it's pretty simple, it's actually very easy to tweak the sound to get exactly what you want. So since I knew that the bass on this track was very thick and very lush, I knew it probably had a sine wave up in there. And it has a little bit of bite to it, so I left a sawtooth there. And then I just kept tweaking buttons up until it just sounded right. Ultimately, I did end up having to play it out, and much to my childhood piano teacher's chagrin, I suck at playing the piano, but I get it done. Either ways, have a listen. Now, if you listen to Get By and compare it to this, I've tried to do like A-B comparisons a lot of the times, and the bass there just seems a little punchier, and I couldn't get it as punchy here without causing some distortion or having the bass overpower the rest of the track. I'm assuming that has something to do with the way that the track was mastered. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you guys about are the drums. Now, the drums are sampled from Love's Doggone. And this track has been sampled a whole bunch of times in hip hop. I mean, this drum loop appears in several tracks, a couple of Kanye tracks too, and now that I'm recording this, I really can't remember the name of any of those tracks. However, trust me, if you know your hip hop, these drums do sound familiar to you. Now, when I first put this track together, I tried to sample the kick and the snare and the hi-hat from Doggone and replay it in Reason's Kong synthesizer, but I just wasn't getting the right sound. Ultimately, I had to think, Kanye probably used an MPC. How would he have used the MPC in getting the drums to sound the way that they do? Basically, he took part of one bar of the drum loop, part of another bar in the drum loop, and put them together. and he probably just did his magic as far as filtering and compression is concerned. I tried my best to mimic that because, again, I had sampled this off of Spotify, which tend to be pretty clean audio sounds, and a lot of original hip hop, not sampled from digital copies, but if not, they're sampled from old records. Anyways, have a listen to what I did with the drums. That's pretty much it. The thing is, if I recall correctly on Get By, there are points where the kick just punches a little bit, and I believe that's at the beginning of the bar. Kanye probably layered another kick over there, over that first kick in the bar, just to give it a little more punch. I didn't do that because when I tried to do that, for whatever reason, I kept getting a little bit of bass distortion, and I couldn't really find a bass sound that just complemented everything without muddying up the mix. I'm sure if I had more time, I probably would have been able to do that. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about is the clapping sound that you hear in the background. This too comes from Nina Simone's Sinnerman. If you've never heard that track is like 10 minutes long, 11 minutes long. And somewhere in there, I mean, there are so many different, I guess you could say, movements in the song. And there's one part where there's nothing but clapping there. What I did is I sampled that. I chopped it up using Recycle, which I still say should be included in Reason. And then I dumped it into the Dr. Octo-Rex player. That way I was able to just adjust the pitch of the track and without having to worry about this thing falling off beat. Have a listen. Yeah, you don't need to listen to all 4 bars, but you get the idea. Now the piano. The piano definitely is not a sample off of Sinnerman. Now there is a little part in Sinnerman where you hear these notes played out on piano. However, I can't imagine him back then using an MPC to warp an MPC 2000 to warp the piano so that it sounds on beat. However, if you listen to the piano, it sounds like it's sampled, all right? What he probably did, he probably played it out on a synthesizer himself, compressed it, maybe lowered the bit rate a little bit, and sampled that into the MPC. Now, I tried my best to recreate that, and I don't have Reason's Radical Piano plugin, which probably would have been good at coming close to it. But what I ended up doing was I first played out the piano using one of the sampled synthesizer voices of the piano, and I just started throwing plugins and all types of things at it up until I got a nice muddy sound. Also, the latter half, all right, that you're going to hear somewhere around here, it sounds like he pretty much just chopped up his own piano sample. So I did that the same. You can hear where I chopped it up a little bit, but once you hear the final mix, you really can't hear. So have a listen. Now, I had a little difficulty getting the piano in the right place of the mix. Now, if you've done any song mixing before, that will actually make sense to you. If not, just smile your head and nod. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk to you guys about is the Nina Simone sample. Now, this is a song from a vocal break in the track, a sample from a vocal break in the track, and he pretty much just pitches it up, I want to say 3 notes, and then towards the end over here, I don't know, for whatever reason, he just doubles up the na-na-na-nas that you hear playing at the end. Now, I tried to mimic that sound. I didn't get it exactly the same because he probably applied some effects, some reverb, or maybe even some echo to it. And because for time's sake, I didn't get into too much detail in recreating that. All right, so before I play the mix out again, as with other videos, this isn't a one-to-one mix. I just wanted you guys to get an idea of what went into making Get By, and just know that there was still a lot more elements included. I mean, the people singing in the background, all of those vocal arrangements. So, you know, that's one of the things that I love about Kanye's music. It's not like one dimensional. I mean, there are lots of things that, you know, he puts up in there, especially now in his modern music that aren't traditionally in hip hop. However, he still maintains a lot of that heart and soul of what hip hop production is. Sampling, dirty drums, and just putting together just a grimy song that makes you just want to wrinkle your face. Anyways, have a listen. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Put me on blast if you think I mixed something, or pat me on the back. Preferably, pat me on the back. And that pretty much is it. I mean, to be honest with you, I think I came pretty close. Now, obviously, I didn't do any of the guitar licks that you hear later on in the track. I don't know what voices, or I should say instrument sounds, he used for that, because I'm pretty sure he himself didn't play it. I do know, for instance, when he produced Jay-Z's version of Me and My Girlfriend, he wasn't playing guitar. He actually had to have somebody that he knew come in and play the guitar. So either that's what he did, or he used a synthesizer-based guitar. That's just speculation on my part. If Kanye happens to see this, please let a brother know what you did. Now, there were probably a couple of bits of more tweaking that I could have done, but I think I got the gist of it. But if you think that there are some changes that I could make, or if I missed something, just shoot me a comment below or like the Facebook page and hit me there. Speaking of Facebook, please, like I said, like the page. It's facebook.com/deconstructinghiphop. I usually post some other stuff there aside from these videos. Also, follow the show up on Twitter at twitter.com/deconhiphop. Or if you want to follow me personally, you can follow me at twitter.com/RogerGill79. Anyways, I gotta get going. It's a lovely day here in Jersey, and once again, I'm gonna venture outside that door. So until next time, people, peace.